I know we've already done this before, but this is how we're starting off to do these notes. Okay? So we know that there are basically 4 different kinds of equations. We've solved all 4. We've shut that place. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? The key is being able to tell what kind of an equation it is, right? So that you can, there could be a lot of writing here. So, an addition equation looks like this. Take the variable, add something to it, and you get something else, right? We've seen that. A subtraction equation is take the variable, subtract something from it, and you get something else, right? What number plus 5 is 2? What number minus 8 is 4? So then the multiplication, I don't care about the answers right now. The multiplication equations look like this. I'm taking a number, multiplying it by a variable, and then getting another number, right? That's a multiplication equation. And then division looks like a number divided by another number and goes from there, okay? So I don't really care about doing those right now. I want you to just be able to tell me what kind of an equation it is, okay? And then if you don't have a marker, that's okay, but I want you to draw a thick line, so just shade it in with your pencil maybe, to make a big division between those 4 equations. Hello. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Bye. Mira, you are leaving. Okay. Okay. So let me just give you this. If you're all right, thank you. Feel better. Okay. So I solve addition by subtracting, subtracting by adding, and all that good stuff. You know that, right? Okay. Here's the best way to explain a 2-step equation. A 2-step equation means instead of doing one thing to solve for it, like we just did on this whole thing, I did one thing. And I was done. I subtracted 8, I got an answer. I added 5, I got an answer. So what do you think a 2-step is? You got to do 2 things before you can get an answer. Okay? And this is the best way I found to explain this. We went to Olive Garden the other day, and my daughter still can order off the kids' menu. You guys, can you order off the kids' menu? You get the kids' menu, and it was build your own pasta bowl, right? So it started step 1, pick your noodle. Do you want bow tie? Do you want rigatoni? Do you want linguine? Step 2, pick your sauce. Do you want Alfredo? Do you want meat sauce? Do you want red sauce? Step 3, pick your protein. Do you want chicken? Do you want shrimp? It was like you picked one from each category. Step 4, pick your side. Broccoli, mandarin oranges, fries, right? Okay? Well, that's kind of how this is going to go, except we're not going to build our own pasta bowl, which I bet you guys wish we were, but we're going to build our own equation. Okay? And when we build our own equation, I have to pick one from here and one from here. Okay? So think about all the different combinations of pasta bowls there could be. You could pick linguine with red sauce, linguine with this sauce, linguine, you know what I mean? So let's start with saying, I know I want an addition equation. I can make an addition multiplication equation or an addition division equation, right? So let's start with just knowing for sure that I want to pick this one. So let's see what an addition multiplication equation would look like. So go ahead in your notes and write addition and multiplication equation. And I'm going to start it off pretty easy. First, let's start with the addition part of it. X plus 8 equals 20. There's my addition. Now, let's make it a multiplication equation too. And you know what? There, I just put a 4 in front of the X. Now it's an addition and a multiplication equation. Having you understand how to solve equations is so important. So let me kind of have you think about it like this. Equations are like riddles, right? Remember back when I taught you one step, I said, I'm thinking of a number. I add, I take that number and I subtract 8 from it and I get 4. What number am I? 12, right? Okay? This is a little more complicated riddle. Follow me for a minute. I'm thinking of a number. I take that number and I multiply it by 4. Then I add 8 to it and I get 20. What number am I? I'll say it again. If you can get it, that's great. I'm thinking of a number. I multiply it by 4. I add 8 to it, and I get 20. What number am I? Yeah. 3, right? Because 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 plus 8 is 20, right? Okay? So for those of you who maybe weren't able to do it in your head, don't worry, because you got algebra. So watch. And I really want you to think about this. If you are doing this, think about how a knot works. Let's talk about, have you ever had a knot in something? Yeah, pain in the butt. Shoelaces. You know what the worst one is? Like a silver chain or a gold chain. You ever try getting knots out of like necklaces? Not fun. Okay? So I want you to picture all those little things like they just get together and together and together. Well, what you do to undo a knot is you take and you go in reverse all of the things that went into it, right? Does that make sense? So you got to kind of go backwards. Well, that's how you solve equations. You got to go backwards. So listen, if I said my answer was 20, but I took a number, multiplied by 4, added 8, wouldn't you start with 20 and then instead of add 8, subtract 8? And then instead of multiplying by 4 to find the answer, you would divide by 4? So even though this is an addition multiplication equation, we're going to solve it using subtraction and division. So, you're going to probably hate me for this. It's going to be a pain in the butt. But you're going to put a little baby 1 and a little baby 2 on all your problems today. Because before you do it, you're going to tell me what to do. And if you would like to do 2 different colors, you can. It might be helpful. So, I'm going to say the first thing I'm doing, because I'm doing it in reverse, normally we have to do multiplication before addition, right? So normally, you would think I have to divide first. You're going in reverse. You're undoing that knot. So what do I have to get rid of first? The plus 8. And how am I going to get rid of a plus 8? So it is being added. The opposite of adding is? So on little baby step number 1, I'm going to write down subtract 8. You could even put SUB8, subtract 8 if you want. Whatever is easier. Okay, after I subtract 8 from both sides, then I'm going to do what? I got to get rid of the 4, and the 4 is being multiplied. So I have to do what? What's the opposite of multiplying? Divide by 4. You could write either one. You don't have to write both. You could just write those symbols. That's okay with me. Okay? So you're going to tell me what to do, then you're going to do what you just told me to do. So let's do it. I'm going to do it in red. I'm going to subtract 8 from here and here. And that's going to leave me with, for x equals 20 minus 8, kept it simple, no negatives. Right? If that 4 wasn't there, I'd be done. X would equal 12. But it is there. So then I have to go back and do this, right? And then that's how you got 3, right? Did everybody follow that? How many of you got less than 2 wrong on either side of these, the addition and subtraction and multiplication and division? That's about half the class. That's a good amount of hands. So if you can do that, you can do this, right? You're doing the same things. You're just doing it twice in one problem. All right? That was an addition multiplication. Let's make and create this pasta bowl. Let's do an addition with a division. Okay? So let's see what that looks like. Ready? So here is an addition with a division this time. So let's take and do our plus 3. And let's take it and make it x over 4. Plus 3 equals negative 9. I want you to see the difference. Before, it was 4x. Now it's x over 4. So, write your little 1 and your little 2. Tell me what you're going to do. What are you going to do first? Always get rid of the constant. And what are you going to do to cancel out adding 3? Subtract 3. And then you got to get rid of what next? The 4. And what's the opposite of dividing by 4? Multiplying by 4. So then do what you just told me. So take your one color and subtract 3. Okay, this is what's really important. A lot of people get here and they go, oh, I don't know what to do next. Is everybody listening? Your goal is to keep your equal sign here in the middle, and after you do something, you got to clean this side up. After those are gone, what's left? Part of showing your work is bringing down what didn't get canceled. And then over here, it's doing the problem. So a negative 9 plus a negative 3 is a negative 12. Okay, I just did step 1. Step 2, boy, how convenient that is, just sitting right there. You already know what to do. You multiply both sides by 4. So then x is equal to not negative 3, negative 46, or 48. I was going to do a negative 48. All right, you don't divide them, you multiply them. Okay? Hey, you want to know how to get an A on every single equations test? Sure. You check your work. Whoa. You know what that means? Up here, look what it means. It means I'm going to take what you just told me that x was, you're going to put it all the way back up here, and you're going to say 4 times x plus 8. Hey, does that equal 20 like I just said it did? Does it? Is 12 plus 8 equal to 20? Here's how a check can come in very handy. Let's say you were preoccupied, you divided wrong. Let's say you subtracted instead of divided. Let's say you made that x equals 8. Well, when you put 8 back up here, 4 times 8 would have been 32, plus 8 would have been 40. And then you would have said 40 equals 20. No. Oh, shoot, I must have done something wrong. Oh, haha, I subtracted. I was supposed to divide. Do you see how checking can help you? Okay, let's check this one. Negative 48 is what you're telling me x is. So let's see if we're right. Divided by 4 plus 3, is that equal to negative 9? Is negative 48 divided by 4 plus 3 equal to negative 9? Negative 12 plus 3, yes, that's equal to negative 9. It checks. 48 is right. Negative 48. Good? Okay, let's keep going. So we just did an addition, a multiplication, an addition, division. What do we got to do next? We got 2 more combinations. Yeah. Subtraction, multiplication, and a subtraction, division. Ready? Almost done. And then you got a maze to do. Subtraction, multiplication. Ready? Here's what this looks like. Here is my subtraction. A minus 5 equals negative 10. And then now there's my multiplication part of it. So you have negative 3a minus 5 equals negative 10. What do I do first? What do I need to get rid of? Negative 5, right? And how do I get rid of subtracting 5? I add 5. And then I need to get rid of a negative 3. And how do I get rid of a negative 3? Multiplying by it. I divide by it, right? So let's do it. Let's add 5 here. That leaves me still with that negative 3a. Negative 10 plus a positive 5. When they are different, you find the difference. And I know what some of you are thinking, well, this is going to be a big mess. Because what's about to happen? Yeah, when I go to divide by what I want gone, man, oh man, would that be nice if that 5 was a 6. My answer would just be 2 and I'd be done. But it's not. And 3 does not go evenly into 5. You know that. And you do know that a negative divided by a negative is a positive, right? And then what's 5/3 written as a mixed number? That's all. 3 goes into 5 once with how many left over? 2/3. Remember how to do that, guys? 1 2/3. So look, if I take negative 3, multiply by 1 2/3, subtract 5, I'll get negative 10. Okay? Let's do our last kind. We need to do subtraction, division. And now I'm going to show you something. So subtraction, division. But something weird's going to happen on this one. This is going to be here, and this is going to be here. All that happened was the equation was just moved around. That's it. It does not change the fact that I'm still going to get rid of what first? The constant. And then I'm going to get rid of the multiplying and dividing second. Order of operations backwards. So, what is the opposite of subtracting for? You're telling me what to do. I don't let you do that often, right? You tell me what to do. Add 4, and then what? Yes, do you guys hear this? It's already being divided. And the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So now you do it. Add 4. Add 4. Because that equal sign right there is like my little separator, right? What's left when the 4s cancel out? That. What's negative 15 plus 4? Negative 11. And then I do what? Get rid of that negative 2 by multiplying both sides by a negative 2. And what is my answer? Positive 22. And that is it. So, do you understand what a two-step equation looks like? So when I give you this, we're going to work through a couple of these together. We have to refresh our memory what to do here. Let's take a look at this one real quick. Just watch me right here, okay? Guys, whatever we're doing over there, can we pay attention or stop? Okay? So in the corner of this little box, you're just going to put it right here. What should I do first? Add 9 to both sides. All right, then I got this to get rid of. Yes. Remember, you multiply by the reciprocal? So I'm going to multiply by 4/3, right? So let's do that. Add 9. Add 9. I have 3/4 x equals 24. And then what? Multiply by 4/3. 4/3. And now watch what happens. The 3's cancel, the 4's cancel, and all I have to do is this little bitty problem here to figure out. What about 24 and 3? This is 8, and then what's my final answer? 8 times 4, 32. And I do this problem next. Got it? Okay, so we're going to give you your mazes.